independent system operator and RTO really are the same thing. The system that they're operating is the transmission system. In electricity, you have generation, transmission, and distribution. Generation's where the power is created, and their voltage levels are different. The transmission is from the generator to the substation. Then it's dropped down to a voltage level where it's safe to go in your house at the substation, and then the wires go from the substation to your house. That's the distribution. The RTOs and ISOs are directed at transmission. The transmission is owned by the utility companies. Municipals, co-ops own some. Most of it is the larger investor-owned utilities. And even though they own it, in order to have competition between generators, what you don't want to have is if a generator is owned by a utility that also owns the transmission, the thought is that it's unfair for another generator to have to go to their competitor to ask to be interconnected. And that's the key reason why FERC, and all of this is wholesale, you have wholesale competition among generators because it's sale for resale. So the FERC basically directed that independent, well, they didn't direct, they enabled utilities to join RTOs. They're not mandatory. That's why we don't have them in the Southeast and we don't have them in the West. And it's to open up their transmission system to competition. So while the utility continues to own the transmission system, they turn over operational control to the RTO or the ISO. And then in terms of scheduling and running a market and the day-to-day operations are done at the RTO level using assets that still belong to the utility in order to facilitate competition between generators.
But the utilities, the investor-owned utilities that own these transmission and distribution systems as their own assets on their own books have been built out on the back of the energy customers at a fixed rate of return.
Yes.